talk that baby talk, and I'll do anything you wanna do. Knock, knock. Daddy's home, baby. Yeah, you all been thinking all day about what we was talking about this morning. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Friday night, I love it, baby. Friday night.
You are listening to WOOP-LP, Cleveland, Tennessee. WOOP FM is a broadcasting service of the Traditional Music Resource Center, and we play America's original music.
Where'd the old town go? They moved it all north of here in a shopping mall.
Good morning and welcome to Old Town Cleveland here on WOOP FM 99.9, or you can go to the internet at www.woopfm.com. You can call us here at 614-5553. It's not cold and it's not raining, but give it time. Deb, good morning. Tell us what's going on.
Good morning, everyone.
And what I must say is Deb out of surgery. Wednesday had surgery, and she's sitting in here today.
We're having an
alarm going off here.
This is a test of the emergency broadcast system.
I'm trying to figure out where it's testing at. Well, go ahead, Deb. But we're glad to see you here. Surgery just 2 or 3 days ago, and
I'll check for fires. You go ahead.
I tell you, I'm just like cousin Minnie Pearl. I'm just so proud to be here. I feel really good today, and I appreciate everybody's prayers. And we're on our way to getting back to being healthy. And when I saw who was coming in today, I knew that I needed to drag myself in here to keep everything under control.
Oh, I know.
Arnold.
Well,
we've got Arnold Tarpley with us today, and John Cook, and John's grandson Lyric, and Ron and I. And we're going to be talking about whatever you guys want to talk about, but especially we're going to talk about things you can't get anymore.
Right. And I must say is the star of Good Sports, Arnold Tarpley, and the former star of What's Cooking.
Thanks, Ron.
John Cook here. So both great WOOP programs, and so we're glad to have him back. And Arnold, we'd like to say hello to your mother up at Life Care.
Yeah.
And
good morning, Mom.
And hope she's listening and feeling better, or she may not got up and wanted to listen to us this morning, though. I don't know how that goes.
Well, when I went by there on the way to the station to check on her this morning, she was asleep. So that's a good thing.
If I hadn't been coming to the station, that's what I'd be doing too. And so, yeah, John, I know that I also got to mention that if you are listening as we come on, our theme song called Old Town is a song written by John Cook on one of his albums, and we just took it and said that would be a great theme for our show when we started it nearly 7 years ago now.
6.
6, long time ago. And we said we'll just call it Old Town Cleveland. So John's inspiration.
We stole it right from John, and he didn't mind.
I've never inspired anybody before.
Let me mention somebody before we get started. Today would have been the 78th birthday of Warnie Fennell. Oh. And I know that everybody remembers her, and she's been gone 21 years, I believe, and they're doing a little thing for her this afternoon, or remembering her up at the village on the Ocoee River that she started, and her daughter is, I believe it's the Ocoee Village, that her daughter still operates.
I know I had to. She got me to do the ambulance service. Back then it was called the ambulance service, was doing a video to show grammar school kids around about what ambulance happens and that. And Artie Ellis was a guy who come out the front door with a gun and show them how dangerous it was. But I'm supposed to be. We was at Warnie's house filming it, and we had to. I was changing a light bulb, and I was supposed to have a heart attack. And the daughter who was playing my daughter at that time would say, didn't know what to do the first time. Then we'd play it over again. Then she would call 911. You know, that's when early days of 911. Well, Warnie is a perfectionist. So I had a heart attack about 200 times. I had to fall down in her kitchen floor, get off the ladder and arm, and she'd know that wasn't dramatic enough. So I went over and over and over. So long story short, they went to the school system and showed it to the first grade at Oak Grove Elementary. And there's my daughter, who didn't know daddy had done that, and starts crying because her daddy's having a heart attack. So
So how many times could you get back up now?
Yeah. He'd have to have the heart attack the first time.
We would have to call 911. Or even more importantly, we had to call Wine 11.
Wine 11. Ron, do you think you could tell everybody about the new exhibit down at the Museum Center?
Well, I don't know if I'm smart enough, but it is. Archaeologists, and which involves some Lee University students, have been digging in, and I can't name the city. It's a name that I can't, but it's right outside of Jerusalem. It's in the West Bank, and they have dug a city there, and it's interesting how they got the rights to do that, and it's theirs until they don't want it anymore. And they found the ruins of a city that probably was a key point in all the religious activities there, and probably a place where Jesus could have had his final, where he went before he was put on the cross, where he sort of he was retiring to, in other words. And so
he was there.
But that was just
there's like over 40 artifacts, and they're on display there, and it's the regular museum entry fee to come in unless you're a member, and then you come in for free.
If you like archaeology and stuff of that nature, this is a great exhibit there. It's not a big exhibit, but it's pretty ironic, pretty tough to get these artifacts out of Israel, first off, and so they're on loan to the group who done that, which involves some Lee University students and every year,
professors,
and so. But it's traveled around the United States, and then to get it here, there's all kind of documents and insurance and security and all that had to go into it. So it's pretty rare to be able to see these type of artifacts unless you go to Israel.
And then also, I believe until April 20th, the First Churches exhibit is still on also. And so that's some things that I just knew that would interest some of our listeners, and I wanted to make sure that you knew about it, and I can't pronounce it either. It means the ruins of the name of that town.
Well, today we're going to talk about things you can't get anymore, candies and foods and other things. And this isn't things you can't do anymore, because John and I would say tie shoes. That'd
be one on my list.
Yeah, that would be one of them. And of course, if you see John and I running, it means what, John?
We're after the ice cream truck.
Yeah, the ice cream truck didn't stop. So John and I was talking about this the other day, and Arnold, first thing he said to me was, I said, "Well, you been thinking about it?" He said, "Yeah." And he said, "Peg legs at Long John Silver's." Do you remember those little chicken wings? And
chicken wings or chicken legs?
And it's just
the little leg,
the leg part.
Yeah, mm-hmm. It was peg legs, they were called, and they dipped them in the fish batter and fried them up, and they were really, really good.
Served them in a little carton of crumbs, a couple of hush puppies, and coleslaw. When I was a teenager and we worked over to Collins Manufacturing, we had a 30-minute lunch break, and we could get from Collins to Long John's on Keith, order, eat it in the car on the way back, and be back at our stations.
That's
with a
something
minute
you
to
can't
spare.
do these days. It's
John,
somebody that fast in Cleveland.
If you're on the internet now, you can look up and you can see peg legs.
Those are wonderful. And I told Tracy about them, and she's got the recipe for Long John's batter. So once I got to talking about it, I said, "Man, we got to do that." So I guess we're going to do that pretty soon.
So you're going to figure out a way to get them again.
Yeah, he's got to figure
and
it
to
out.
beat it all,
to marry a cook is how you get them again.
I love
and
Long
invite Ron
John's.
over, because I would never be able to fry those up correctly.
I was telling someone it was on Facebook that we got to talking about Long John's, and I said, we have to go to Athens.
Not anymore.
And that's what Andy Lockhart mentioned.
Little Andy.
He said, "Yeah, little Andy said, I hate to break it to you, buddy, but Not anymore.
Oh no.
Well,
Because
now,
we'd only go up there maybe once every 5-6 months.
have you
apparently.
noticed that the fish though is a lot greasier and wasn't as always seemed like it's a little gooier on the
yeah.
inside than it used to be when we were growing up.
Well, it seems like everything was better
Yeah.
when we were growing up. Even this, even places where you can get the same thing, with the exception of a few places, Shake Shack
yeah.
and Chef. You know, hot slaw is still just as great as it ever was. You can still get a great hot dog or hamburger, but you know.
Now, Arnold, I know your first job, I believe, was working in a gas station.
Yes.
Well, that's something you can't get anymore is service.
Full service filling station.
I mean, tell us what you used to do when a car pulled up.
Used to come in, car ring up, pull up, ding the bell. You go out and ask them what they wanted. Usually a fill up or $5 worth or whatever it was. If it's fill up, you went around.
$5 was a fill up.
Yeah, at that time, sometimes it was a fill up. But you start the pump working. You go around and you pop the hood, check the oil, check the radiator fluid, check the just do a quick little check of all the fluids, clean the windshield, check the air pressure in the tires.
Too much.
You know, you did all of that for the fill up.
Yeah.
And all kinds of weather too. I mean, sometimes that was not real fun to walk out there and grab that gas pump with about 20 degrees outside.
I would like when they got the dipstick and they pulled it out and then they'd come around there and they had to show
Show
you
it
the
to you.
Yes.
show you the dipstick saying
Yeah.
you're a quart low. Instead of saying you're a quart low, no, you had to come around and go show you the
Show it to
dipstick.
you.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
then
we're in too big of a hurry for that now. though.
All right, let me admit something right now. I don't think I've ever looked at my dipstick in my car now. I mean, I don't think I've ever popped the hood and says, let's check the oil. Well, I think cars might be a little bit more efficient now than they were, particularly some of the ones
Now,
we
I
drove.
actually checked mine, but I'm still driving my '97 Blazer.
Well, okay.
Well, now, I
Close to 200,000
I do
miles
have,
on it.
Yeah. At that rate, you have to check. it.
You check it every few weeks.
I do have one car that whenever I'm fixing to go any distance, I usually check the oil in it before I head out, just to be
I
sure.
just-
It's usually not low, but I check it anyway.
John, didn't you have a car that got so many miles per quart of oil?
Didn't everybody? Didn't everybody at one time?
Matter of fact, Tennessee T, you remember the old brown or copper colored van?
Yeah.
It was our first, I guess, when we became celebrities. We got a van. It was we couldn't have gave more than a few $100. I hope not, because we put a quart of oil in it about every 50 miles.
Yeah, and the battery, I think
You'd hit the road and
we bought that battery and it's guaranteed to start 19 times.
Yeah, 19 times. So you kept a little chart on the dash. Ron said, "We got enough starts to get there and back." I said, "Yeah, I think so."
So, is there any place now that you actually? I think right across from Bradley High School, they'll pump gas for you still, will they not?
They will. But, you know, I think people just generally in too big of a hurry for it now. Think about it. If you were to pull up and this day and time and they come out and we're going to check your oil and your fluids and your tire pressure, you'd be sitting there tapping the dash because you want the gas and you want to get out of there.
There's a commercial on TV of
You don't even wanna
NASCAR
walk
drivers
inside and pay anymore,
in the van.
which is why we got the slots in there.
Yeah. And it's really funny to watch it because it's Tony Stewart, Danica Patrick, and 2 or 3 others. And they pull up to a gas station expecting somebody to come out there and pump their gas because they're NASCAR drivers and they get gas. And the guys in the station are going, do they expect us to come out there and get gas? And all of a sudden, Danica jumps out there and goes running in that station after them. Next thing you know, they're out there pumping gas and handing them Cokes in the windows. But I saw that commercial and I started dying laughing because I remember the full service gas station days.
And of course, they all had a little garage with a lift in it, and they
Yes.
could fix your tires and
I have
put
fixed,
fan belts on, and
I have fixed many a flat tire in that service station.
of course now you can't put a fan belt on. You got to have some special tool to get that serpentine. Remember that Blazer we tried to put one on at my house, and we never got it on
Very
there.
expensive one, and the first time we turned it on, it cut it.
Heck, when I'd pull up in my Dodge Dart, they'd check the battery. They'd pour water in the battery. Remember?
Yeah.
screw the caps off. I think the batteries are all sealed now. You
Oh,
can't
yeah.
put
Yeah.
water in.
Yeah, no one puts water in
And a lot of
battery.
people are listening to me now saying, "What?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yep. You had
batteries
the,
start getting dry, and
Right.
put
Yeah,
some
so-
water in it, maybe get a few more
Some
started."
Well, you know, that
some of our
was-
audience says, "Well, I remember cars when you used to crank them, though." You know?
Well, you know, my grandpa, he could fix anything, 40 years ago with a piece of bell and wire. And I mean,
Some
he
duct
he
tape.
was before duct tape. And people would bring things to his house that everything was repairable then. Now everything's disposable.
There's nothing repairable now. I mean, do you remember you can't get a TV repairman anymore? I
No.
mean,
And something that we needed this week that I couldn't find, but I've been told there's one here in town, is a shoe shop. There used to be several little shoe shops, and I think there's one up.
we used to want to run the village right
Yeah,
here.
right. That was one that ran in the village for a long time. There's one up in
An actual cobbler.
behind the Townhouse Bake Shop. I'm told. I haven't seen it, but
Yeah.
to get shoes sewn
there,
back
there,
together.
if it's still there was one there
Right,
one time. I
and-
haven't been back there in a while to see.
Ron for years wore wingtips, and we take them and have new
Yeah.
bottoms put on them time after time after time because
half soles.
they were really
You were
good
always
shoes.
so stylish.
Yes, I was.
But he never wore taps.
But,
People used to get taps put
Did you
on
ever
their
put
shoes.
a penny in your loafers?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You can't get penny loafers anymore, can you? I don't know why anybody really still want penny loafers, but
But
what was the purpose of the penny in the shoe in the first place?
Just
Someone
someone
needs
cool.
to cool.
Same difference as kids walking around now with kendamas. We call them a stick on a cup, and now kendamas is cool.
A kadama.
Kendama, you know what a
That's-
kendama is?
No, I have no
Ron.
idea.
It's
Oh, the little ball.
A cup and a
Yeah.
and let me tell you, this stuff happens fast. The Japanese know what they're doing. One day about 4 or 5 weeks ago, the neighbor boy Brock walks in, and he's click, 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 and I looked at him. I said, "That's an awful fancy stick in ball in a cup." He said, "These are new. They just came out with them." I said, "Son, we were doing that when I was a kid." I said, "It's a ball." He said, "They're called kendamas," and he's already got 3 of them.
I guess
And
different colors.
A couple days later, I'm because Lyric and Taylor want them. I pull up at Cleveland Middle School, and I swear 70% of the kids walking down the walk into school, they're flipping these kendamas.
Japanese already bombed us one time.
Yeah, well, you got a point.
If you didn't hear it, Lyric
But now,
says
Lyric,
Japanese done bombed
Lyric
us one
has
time.
a kendama, and Taylor's got 2 kendamas, and it's the flavor of the day. It's the strangest thing I've ever seen. You're a kendama kind of guy, aren't you?
I only place them when I only place them when I'm bored. They're my main interest. My main interest: TV, Xbox, and food.
You know,
He's serious, and
Yeah.
it's in that order.
how old are you now, Lyric?
9.
No. Well, about 3 more years, one of those get replaced with girls.
yeah.
I will say
Oh yeah.
I
Oh
think
yeah.
so.
Tell these guys what your greatest fear is.
getting a girlfriend.
Getting a girlfriend. Well, yeah, keep that.
John's usually
That's a-
getting rid of one.
That's a healthy fear.
We kind of have to think about the things that we used to go to Radio Shack for too. And I know Radio Shack's still around for the time being. Barely. But now sometimes if you're looking for that something that you can find everywhere, just a few years ago you can find it at Radio Shack. But cassette tapes. I know one time on this show I can't find cassette tapes anywhere, and I know John dug out some for me that I was using them at that time.
I've got a couple, but
And I went into Walmart and asked some young guy, and he just kind of stared at me. And this other guy finally says, "Well, here, let me walk you back into the 20th century." They walked me over, and there was like one box that had 3 tapes in it instead of you used to have these big varieties.
And
the sad thing is that our age, Ron, Arnold, men of our age, a lot of things that you can't get anymore. It's really not that long ago. We're not talking about things from the 30s and the 20s. We're talking about things from the 70s and 80s.
oh yeah.
8 tracks.
Good example.
8 tracks. Oh yeah.
How many of you have had a Nestle's Wonder Ball?
Oh,
Used to love them.
What?
Nestle's Wonder Ball.
I want one.
They come in a square box, about the size of a tennis ball. It was chocolate, and in the center there was a plastic toy. Basically, you ate this big ball of chocolate till you got to the toy. And when kids started choking and dying from the plastic toy that they accidentally ate.
There are probably some things we don't want.
They only discontinued that in the 80s, like the mid-80s. Also, what was it called?
You can't get clackers anymore
Ben
either.
and Jerry's Tennessee Mud.
Mm-hmm.
They had this wonderful idea, and I tried it. It's hideous, so that's why they discontinued it, mostly because it didn't kill anybody, but it was the flavor was Jack Daniels and coffee.
Yeah.
And that was Tennessee Mud.
Yeah.
You can't get it anymore unless you saved some, unless you really liked it enough that you saved some.
Do you remember clackers?
Yeah.
You can't get those anymore because they were breaking wrists. Right away.
There's some specialty places where you can order them, but they're soft plastic. It's not the real. The real clackers will break your arm.
Were you still doing clackers when your senior year, or had they banned them at the new school?
I don't remember them there, so I'd say they probably banned them at the new school.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean, between classes, it was everybody doing those. You took two hard plastic balls, and they had a string between them, and you held them in the middle, and you made them hit above and below.
Mm-hmm.
And the faster you could go, the cooler you were. And then when you got it a little twisted, they quit clacking, and they come off and hit you in the wrist.
Yeah.
And it did not feel good. So
I tell you one that nobody really thinks about, and until you start talking about it. But one thing that you can't get anymore, which is a shame, is a home cooked meal at school. I'm talking about at school. I get them at home all the time, but at school. And think about it. When I went to East Cleveland and Big Springs Elementary and then Bradley High School, those schools, Miss Queen at Big Springs Elementary, Reverend John Pig at Bradley High School, absolutely, you never heard anybody say that they couldn't stand to eat at school, because a lot of people, that was your favorite place to eat. I mean, John Pig, I remember my favorite meal from him was goulash, mashed potatoes, coleslaw, and those sweet yeast rolls, which Miss Queen at Big Springs Elementary, she made the best sweet rolls. And on Fridays, she would make the sweet rolls a little bit larger, and you would cut them because she made hamburgers, and that was your hamburger bun. You have never had, hey, Farmhouse, all you restaurants out there looking for a new idea, hamburgers served on a sweet roll.
We'll have to tell Kathy down at the spot that she made
Let me
cinnamon
tell
rolls
you,
this
you
morning.
try making a large sweet roll and then building the hamburger on that, and you can get rid of all these doggone idiotic pretzel rolls.
When I went to school,
pretzel buns for a hot dog, give me a break.
You had full-fledged cafeterias in the elementary schools.
Well, you would go down through there and pick out that there'd be several items to choose from, and macaroni and cheese and vegetables, and to have a hamburger was kind of like that was a
real treat.
There was a Friday treat.
Now in the schools, and I'm not knocking, I guess there's reasons, but you had a cafeteria staff prepared that stuff. Now it's
cost and
shipped in pizza
rules.
and
rules and cost.
Yeah, just ruined it. Like, how many here, when you went to school, remembers milk break?
Oh yeah.
There was always one point of now milk break, cost you a little extra. The cafeteria people would come by with a cart full of the little square cartons of milk.
We started
about solid square.
We started with seal tests at Oak Grove.
You'd peel a corner up, and they would come by, and if you had a nickel and wanted a milk, you could get a milk for a nickel. And the teacher always kept a big jar. This was at East Cleveland. She kept a big jar of cookies, little shortbread cookies or something you could buy for a penny. And she would charge you that so she could replace the cookies. And you'd take a milk break. Usually it's about
10 o'clock, 9:30.
Yeah, around 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. Because you didn't have lunch. Now they stagger lunches. Some of the kids at school are having lunch at 10 o'clock.
I think they did away with milk break because they have to feed everybody breakfast now, or they offer breakfast.
Yeah, that's probably. But now, some of the kids have lunch at 10. They have
10:45.
11:30, and we had lunch.
1 o'clock.
We had lunch at noon or 1 o'clock, somewhere along in there, and so you'd have a milk break around Now, my daddy told me, my mom and dad told me that they had milk break too when they went to, I can't think of the name of the school. It's down off of Johnson Road. And matter of fact, the name of the school was Johnson.
Johnson School.
Johnson School.
Yeah. They had milk break, but it's a little bit different. They
Cal.
they got a can of cream. You got a can of cream, and you would mix it with a little bit of water and sugar, and you'd have, or you just drink the cream. You know, she said they bring by and you have a little can opener there, and they'd.
There for a while, instead of milk, we was getting orange juice.
Yeah.
Whatever the commodities were.
Well, let me tell you, you'll be happy to know Reverend John Pigg's family will be here in May
Oh, really?
to talk about
May 16th.
Reverend Pigg and not only his cafeteria work, but also his preaching that he did. But I
Big
told
Springs Church of God.
I told him the only way they could come was if they brought a copy of his goulash recipe for us.
Absolutely.
So
Now, I've never seen Ron look so confused. We were last night discussing what shows we have coming up and stuff, and I looked at him and said,
When
"Now,
are the
when are the pigs coming?" And he said,
well, you have to admit there's not a lot of family names the last name Pig, and it's. But she said, "When are the pigs coming?" And that just I went, "When are the pigs?"
the pig family.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
but I think Charles and Steve, and there's one other brother, and I can't think of his name, but
He may be John too. I don't know.
so it'll be
Somebody, River Fox mentioned something that you don't see much anymore: is smoke breaks between the classes at school.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the whole smoking area.
And then he said he's dated a few pigs in his life.
They would smoke in the teachers' lounge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well
Teachers would have a little spot where they could
I bet
fire one up, take a nip.
I bet they still do.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Something
You're listening.
that's disappeared just in the last, I guess, 8 years or so, is film for cameras.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can still have a really nice camera, and you have to order film off
Yeah.
of the
Let me
internet.
tell you, you've got to get that.
And
stuff
getting them
from
developed is not easy
specialty
anymore.
shops, and it costs you an arm and a leg.
Yeah. Of
P.S.
course, these
Don't smoke. It can kill you.
Kodak has had to rethink their what they do.
they're thinking.
Yeah.
a whole lot. Hey, look, folks, you're listening to Whoop FM, Old Town
We
Cleveland.
should have gotten Randy to come on today too.
And we're talking about things that you can't get anymore, and walking down memory lane when we can remember. And right now we're going to open up the phones. You can call us here at 614-5553 and tell us what you can't remember or you can't get. Wait a minute.
You know, we Ron, too, we've lost this week the old Ganaway store and the dry cleaners. I understand there's going to be a park there where the initial spring for Cleveland was, but
The Webb's lawyer office and Superior Cleaners are gone. They are. In fact, I've got a picture that I took this morning when I come by there.
yeah, we did too. And we were kind of surprised not to see any water in that big hole.
It came down starting Monday, I think it was.
Yes.
Monday or Tuesday,
Yes.
they started taking it down.
So
and
where is the spring, Arnold?
the spring is actually underneath where the Webb lawyer's office used to be. So
Yeah.
where the excavator's setting right now, the spring should be right under that area somewhere.
So they just haven't
So
uncovered.
well, here, we'll talk about it in a minute. Let's get this call. Good morning. You're live on Old Town Cleveland.
Hey, good morning, y'all. This is RD.
Hey, RD, how you doing?
Oh, doing okay. I think of one thing that I used to like doing with my grandfather. He's good at fixing things, but I don't know why in the world you need to do it anymore. Is going down to the Super X drugstore and using the tube tester.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember
somebody
that
mentioned
tube tester.
online,
I
yeah.
remember the tube tester.
Yeah, you gotta figure out which one it fit, holes it fit in. And, okay, we need this kind, and he'd go back and fix something. And then something I'd like to have, especially now it's getting springtime, is an old-fashioned lawnmower that doesn't have all these stupid safety features.
Yeah.
You just had a straight lawnmower, had a throttle, had a choke. You'd flip it, start the thing, and it'd run until it cut your foot off or cut the grass.
That's right.
You know, you turn it right over upside down and still keep running.
Or have you ever run over a peach pit and it'd fling it like it's some big weapon or something? Yeah.
Yeah, do that. And I used to cut grass with Grandpa and run over, baby rabbits, you know. But you remember them old mowers, there wasn't no turn-off on them.
No.
They had a little metal tab. You had to push the short spark plug out, which there was no rubber boot, just a little metal ring, and you learn real quick within about the first time. Don't use your thumb to push.
Oh no, you will get a shock. Oh,
you learn real quick. You either poke it with your tennis shoe or get your stick and put it down there. And
sticks are the best.
your sticks are the best. So yeah, I remember all that stuff. And I think you're talking about the clackers, the glass clacker thing.
Yes.
I think they quit selling them because people were jobbing their eyes out with broken shards of glass. Also, when you'd leave them in, kids would leave them in the car, and when the sun would come through the window, it'd hit that round ball and act like a magnifying glass, catch your car on fire and burn it up.
Good one.
So what's your point, RD?
Well, I don't know. As far as one thing that men of our age now that I wish I could still do that I can't do now,
Yeah.
is sleeping all night without having to get up and go to the bathroom about 3 times.
I have to be really sleepy to get there.
Yeah, no kidding. So, well, y'all have a good day.
Thank you.
Let's go cut some grass with my stupid safety.
Be careful out there.
Clackers aren't the only dangerous ball.
Yeah.
Baseball is too. One time I was running after the ball, my face got whacked into a tree.
Yeah.
you
River
want
Fox
to
says
avoid-
something that you can't find are honest politicians.
You
Well,
want
wait a
to
minute.
Was
avoid-
there ever that?
That's an oxymoron.
You want to avoid the street in front of our house, anywhere around our house on mowing day. Tracy, she can't mow slow, and if it's there, she's going to mow it.
Yeah.
And we live on, we've probably got 2 or 3 dozen pine trees around the house, so kids they head for the woods. Everybody runs because it's like
Pine cone.
she's
City.
launching pine cone grenades, buddy. I mean, left and right. You hear them flying, hitting the house, hitting the trees. You just stay out of the way on mowing day.
Go ahead, call you live on Old Town Cleveland.
I can't believe you let Seawolf down there again.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Not much. It's mountain climber Seawolf.
Yeah, I know who this is. We can't get you to get that Jeep out and pull cars out of the ditches anymore either, can we?
No, just like we can't drive them Camaros over them hills over there.
Oh, there's a lot of those things like that we can't do anymore just because we're too old.
I know. Hey, you remember Flea, don't you?
Yeah, I remember him.
You remember his daddy built a lawnmower one time that would mow the yard by itself and it cut itself off when it got done?
Yeah, I remember that thing.
A lot of people don't believe that, but that really worked.
Yeah, it did.
How did it turn itself off?
Run out of gas.
Oh, okay, there you go.
I put a kill switch on the front wheel. He took the steering wheel off and put a spring and a conduit pipe up there, and out in the middle of the yard, he put this thing with a cable. If I can explain this right. And that thing go round and round in circles, and when it got so tight, that kill switch, that wheel hit that kill switch and turned itself off. But there's a man come knocked on the door one night out there about dark. Said, "Mister, you know your lawnmower's out here running around in circles?" He said, "Yeah, it turns itself off when it gets done."
So there's where crop circles started.
Yeah.
Hey,
I love it.
John,
Yeah.
what was that woman's name up above your house that had that little store we used to go to? Miss Woods?
Oh, goodness.
Woods, he said.
Yeah. Yeah, that was it.
Hey, you go up there and get 2 or 3 pieces of candy for a penny.
Yeah, you could
That sounds good.
drop a penny in the gum machine, too, and if you got one of those speckle balls out, you
Yep.
get a nickel for it.
Yeah.
Heck, there's a lot you can buy with a nickel.
Yep. Well, hey, I'm
Legal
enjoying
gambling
this
for
morning.
kids.
Arnold, tell him who I am.
This is William Key. W.J. Keys, a lot of people
okay.
remember him.
Okay.
Yeah, we used to go to school together, me and John.
Yeah.
Alan.
Yeah. So some more of that East Cleveland ingenuity.
Hey, I tell you, we had it going on over there.
I heard old Marvin Crumley told me the other day Ricky Davis died.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sure did.
We didn't know if that was the same one or not.
Yeah, I heard something about that, and I was kind of wondering the same thing.
Hey, you remember our classroom inventor? Remember Alan Haney?
Oh, yeah.
Alan Haney.
Alan Haney. He was inventing something every day. If you get him in trouble most of the time, because one day he actually drilled a hole in his desk, in the desktop, and put a light socket or something on it. And, that's the kind of stuff Alan do. You say, hey, he might not have invented things. He just invented different uses for
He invented trouble.
He'd drill a hole in the desk and mount a light socket or something, or some kind of buzzer, or he's all the time. If it could be done with nails, a battery, and some wire.
And drill.
Yeah.
Well, you
Obviously a
mentioned
drill.
going to that store. Kids could go buy candy cigarettes. My family always let me have them.
Bubblegum cigars.
Yeah.
Bubble
yeah.
gums.
Bubblegum cigars.
They're terrible.
But real
Hey, I'll talk to y'all later.
Hey, thanks.
Okay, take it easy.
I thought of something you can't get anymore. It's CBs.
Oh, yeah.
CB radios. Everybody had one.
What was your handle, John?
Everybody had a handle. I'm thinking it was pork chop.
What was yours, Arnold?
I think it was pork chop.
WJ, just give it. Seawolf.
See, well, what was yours?
His
Deb?
was Mountain Climber.
I was Dancing Bear.
I was Moron. You got the Moron on. Some food groups here real quick that you can't get anymore. Well, let's get this call first. Go ahead, caller. You live on Old Town Cleveland.
Hey, tell John he forgot to say when Alan calls all the lights go out of school.
Oh, good. Yeah. Alan was our national disaster there.
Source of entertainment.
He was smart though. I mean, he's all the time thinking. He just wasn't thinking it ahead. He wasn't thinking, could this get someone killed? Could it get me in trouble? Could it burn down the
It wasn't.
school?
Hey, y'all, watch this.
John,
Yeah.
tell Debbie that Freddie's brother died.
Which one?
James Cartwright.
Yeah, I saw that obituary. I didn't realize it was his brother, though.
Yeah, it's his brother.
Okay. Well, our sympathies. See ya.
Yeah, I was wanting to get John to talk about that. I was sitting here thinking, oh, he forgot that.
God, when the lights went out. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Here's 4 things that I miss for food. I'm going to go with 5.
You'll notice that John and Ron always talk about food.
Well, I mean, you can.
Our minds do go back there occasionally.
But Pasquale's, of course, we don't have Pasquale, but they had the
mean-
Stromboli steak sandwich. John used to cook those, and he says he can make one just like them. We need proof. The beef burger from the Sugar and Spice with hot slaw.
I don't remember those.
Oh, yeah. Wallace Reimer hamburgers.
Yeah.
Long before
Wally
Crystal.
Burger.
Wally Burgers. Hot.
Now, Wallace Reimer's hottest hot slaw. Woo! I mean, it only came in one flavor, and that's burn you goozle.
Yeah.
It was good, though. Oh.
And it was a challenge. It'd make your eyes water. It's kind of like taking a sip of whiskey. You make the faces. Or you go, damn, that's smooth. Same way with his hot slaw, buddy. Don't
You're
even
right.
fool with it if you don't want it.
We got a call here. Go ahead, call. You're live on Old Town Cleveland.
Say hello.
Hello. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm car.
You're doing what?
I'm in the car. I'm in the car.
You're in the car.
Mommy car.
A mommy's car. Is this Avery? Hello.
She's checking.
What's your name?
Avery.
Avery. Well, this must
Hey,
be.
Avery.
This is Papaw.
Did you have biscuits and gravy this morning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah.
Sounds delicious.
What did you see at the zoo last week?
A monkey.
Monkeys. Yeah.
It's a monkey like his mom was at the gas.
He put his behind up to the glass. Yes, he did.
Okay. Well,
Bye, Avery.
Bye, bye, baby.
Love you. Bye-bye.
That was the
Avery,
granddaughter.
we took Avery to the zoo down in Chattanooga last week, which they have improved greatly in the last 10 years. And Avery woke up and put her hand on the glass, and the monkey put its hand on the glass, and Ron put his hand on the glass, and the monkey would come up and put its behind on the glass. And the zookeeper tried to tell us that's how the monkey said hello, but I don't know.
Next time Tracy's cooking Pasquale's,
Uh-huh.
because I explained the whole routine to her, and now she does their stromboli steak sandwich, their roast beef sandwich, and their meatball sub.
I need proof, don't you, Arnold?
Yeah.
I really
And the
do.
whole secret there is in the prep work for the bread. It's all in the garlic butter and the bread and the type of coleslaw that you use.
You know, I remember something too that remember when you used to blow the fuses in your fuse box at your house?
Oh yeah,
used to.
used to. We
My
still
house was
do.
built in 1954.
You still
I
have
still
to-
got them.
Oh no.
Right, my house still
And
has
they
the
are-
fuses too. So
Can you still buy fuses?
yes,
At Ace Hardware, yeah.
Ace Hardware's got
Okay.
them.
Do not use pennies in
I
behind
buy them
that.
by the gross. Because
Yeah.
now half of our home is on a breaker box,
Mhm.
and the rest of it is the
Old-fashioned fuse box.
little screw-in fuses. And the way I figure it,
There-
if I blow a 10 amp fuse several times, I screw a 20 amp one in.
Yeah.
I don't think that works.
I don't have any
And don't blow.
10s or 20s. All mine's at least 30s.
You know, that kind of reminds me of the old Christmas lights too, that my mom would lick them
Yeah,
before she.
Not sure
screwed
what
'em
that
in.
was about.
I don't know either.
make the contact better.
Connectivity.
Connectivity.
Yes. Go ahead, caller. You live on Old Town Cleveland.
I was waiting. I was listening to all that.
Hey, T Bandy, what's up, buddy?
I got a fish truck to 28.
28 next Saturday,
Yeah.
11 o'clock at the Southeastern Farmers Co-op on Blue Springs Road.
Are we talking a drug deal here?
And, no, we're talking fish truck.
Oh, fish truck.
Grass carp.
No, I
He said he's picking up a load. So whose mule is this?
man. Ron John Boat remembers when I was driving that old van and hauling her trailer,
Yeah.
and he come loose out there at that big lake. Almost went in the lake.
That could have been a bad day.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a bad day for my van too. It knocked a great big hole in the back door.
Yep.
Remember all them days.
Never think of the joy that the entertainment you brought to the masses.
Yeah.
All 3 or 4 of them were there.
I wished I could have sung then. I can sing now, but back then I tried to sing bass and I couldn't.
You was pretty bad back then, or we'd let you sing.
We wanted you to sing a solo. Solo, we couldn't hear you.
That's what they told me one time in the basement over there. They told me to shut up. I was trying to sing bass, and they said, "What was that?"
I said, hey, T, you drive very well.
Yeah, I was, and the chain was always holding that loaded guitars and stuff.
All right, T, thanks.
See, bye-bye. And Tia has a fish truck coming next week, and if you need to order grass carp or any of those
Catfish or...
any of
I
those,
have something that you don't see
What's that?
that you saw back then, but you see today, which is good. Good.
9 years.
I don't know. Boats carry plenty of lifeboats, unlike old times.
No.
Yeah.
They started doing it with the Titanic.
when is old towns to you?
Probably the 19s.
19's okay. Somebody here online saying that if you left Wallace Reimer's hot slaw in one of those little paper cups, it would dissolve it overnight.
Yeah, I mean that was some
Oh, it was...
beautiful stuff.
Did you get Wallace Reimers in your day? Use?
No, I never did. We never got over that direction very
Oh,
much.
yeah.
If anybody out there has Wally Reimer's hot slaw recipe,
Yeah,
It was a lot like the
And you
the
want to become a friend of
Starviews,
mine.
but it was really
Yeah.
strong.
had a red color to it.
It was something
You
else.
ever have a Wally burger with it on there?
Oh
Ron?
yeah, and a hot dog and
Now Wallace Reimers would also make the small burgers like a Crystal.
Yeah.
Exactly like
Yeah.
a Crystal, except
I thought that was the Wally
much
burgers.
better. No, the Wally burger was a monster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they had
Oh,
the little
okay.
the little.
It's about- I forget what
Yeah.
they called the small ones, but
Somebody will tell us here in a minute.
we would have those for breakfast while we were waiting on the bus.
You know,
in the
first time I
morning.
had a Crystal, I thought, well, big deal. This is from Wallace Reimers.
Yeah.
Go ahead, caller. You live on Old Town Cleveland.
Hey, Miss R did.
Yeah.
This will be the last time I call.
No, you can call as much as you want.
You brought up glass fuses,
Yes.
and I got to tell you about the last practical joke I pulled on my wife ever.
Uh-oh.
We
That's
did-
because you learned your lesson, I'm sure.
He don't know where she is now.
I'll never forget. get it. We lived in an old house that had a glass fuse panel. And you know how the metal door on that, sometimes you had to yank it real hard to
Oh,
get
yeah.
it come open. Well, April Fool's, back in the early, mid-'80s. And she's in a shower one night. So I decided to pull a joke on her. We were always blowing on glass fuses. So while she's in the shower, remember the little firecracker things you get had a string coming out each end? When you
Yeah.
She's in the shower. Well, I went and tied one of those things, each end, one to the door, one inside that thing. Closed that little door up. Turned the stereo on real loud. When she gets out of the shower, soaking wet. Now, my wife is not a mechanical person at all. She's a wonderful woman. She's just not mechanical. She gets out of the shower soaking wet. And by the time she come out of that bathroom door, I flipped the stereo off. I hollered, honey, I said, check that fuse panel for me to see what type of fuse blew, a 10 or 15. She goes, I'm soaking wet. She said, I'll get electrocuted. I said, no, you're not going to get electrocuted. How are you going to get it? You open up the door. I'm wet. I'm like, for God's sake, will you open the door? Will you just check the fuse so I can go out to the shed and get another one? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. She yanked that door open, and that thing popped in her face. And let's just say the results of that practical joke were not near as funny as I thought they were going to be.
They never are.
And I paid for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's been about past 30 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I remember glass fuses, and that.
I can remember my grandpa too standing with his or were they Zippo lighters? Yeah. He turned that lighter on and standing. He's looking at that fuse box.
Wait, don't tell me your wife turned into Two-Face.
Yeah, that old house had a problem. It was every now and then, exactly one half of the house the lights would go out, and the other half would be on. And nobody believed me. I kept calling the electric company. They told me I was crazy. And then finally my neighbor come over, and they said, didn't you tell me one time that you had half your house would go out? I said, yeah. The electric company finally found where a tree had rubbed one of the cable up there, and apparently one of them was shorting out to a tree. So, but I was glad to get out of that house. That was a crap.
I remember being a little girl too, and seeing that one single wire hanging down from the ceiling with that one light bulb on it. And I always thought, do you really want to touch that thing and turn it on?
You had another electrical plug you'd screw up in the light socket.
Yes.
Electrical thing. I think. Oh, and your cassette tapes.
Yes.
I think I've got upstairs an entire unopened box of 90-minute really good TDK cassettes. If you still need them.
Yeah. Well, I don't use them much anymore, but just a few years ago, I was out begging for them because I was recording people at their house. I found out that 80-year-olds recognize that as being a recording device, and so they didn't mind talking on record. But if you went in there with one of those little ones, they were all suspicious about you, or they didn't know they were being recorded, and they said things that they shouldn't be saying.
Yeah, that's true. Well, y'all have a good weekend now.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Always love RD's stories.
You can call us here at 614-5553, as these other callers have. Dooley's ice cream, any flavor. We just don't get that anymore. I know you were a Dooley ice cream man. You were there. John, you were Dooley ice cream man.
Oh, yeah.
I got to come in town on a rare basis, and I'd get to Dooley. So it was a real treat to come to town to go to the Spot and get a Spot burger, some chili, one of those milkshakes that they put the little metal thing over there for you to pour down. And now, you thought you were getting a lot of stuff there because they'd make your milkshake, and you got to drink all of it.
Yep.
And
I'm going to mention a place that a lot of people don't think about that we used to go. The Little Dog House.
Little Dog
Oh,
House.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a long time ago. Man. And something else you can't
At 2 in the morning when everything else was closed, you just went on down Blue Circle and got one of those bombs.
Blue Circle, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, one of them gut busters.
And something, I guess you could get one of these, but you don't hear much about them now, was a suicide.
Yep.
Go to the Princess Theater, and everything they had behind the counter poured into a glass, and that's what you drank.
The amateurs that didn't know what that were. The only reason you ordered suicide, first I thought they were good, but it's mostly to be cool.
Yeah,
it's like walking up to the bar and ordering a martini.
You can do that again now.
Okay.
You know, with the new Coca-Cola machine, you can do that again now.
But the kids don't know they're doing a suicide.
Give me a suicide.
Yeah.
And a candy cigarette.
Yeah.
I'll be over here in the corner.
Bubblegum cigar.
Impressing the chicks with a big bubblegum cigar and a suicide.
And
Heck yeah.
and a dill pickle. Go ahead, caller. You're live on Up That Cleveland.
Morning, guys. Doc Hollywood.
Doc Hollywood.
The king of the 1980s.
He's going to say plaid bell bottoms.
Knowing this, my goodness, yeah, or yesterday. Yeah, I was thinking, what are they, when the boys stepped away from the mic there, any bootleggers left up there in Bradley County we know of?
Yes.
Oh, they are.
Couple.
Give me locations.
Can't do that, but I've got a supplier that
I still like
comes by occasionally.
Doc that talks about going over and buying beer in a gallon jug.
Oh, yeah, that I think that little place was called Durkee Super Red or something.
Yeah.
Near the old jail, wasn't it, Ron? That little Super Red right there on the corner?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure how we ever skirted the open seal law, because that you put your own lid on that thing. And speaking of convenience stores and things, you used to see. Remember the old? I'm going to clean up the language here a little bit. The old darn if I know hats. Remember they'd be hanging on a clothespin, and in the don't see those anymore. In the little what I call it a punch board game. It's convenience store counters. You know, you'd pay $1 or whatever, and you take a little thing and you'd punch
punch boards, yeah.
Take it out and it'd give you a number, and if it was a winning number, then you'd get a prize. Are those things extinct now?
I believe they're illegal.
I actually saw one in a little old country store down in Georgia a year or so ago. You can still buy them.
Yeah.
It's just they're illegal now. You can, but
small
a lot of
detail
these
there,
old timers will. Yeah, you can actually still buy those things right now. You'll pay like $100 for this punch board, but if you sell every punch in it, you can make about 1,000, usually 10 times your money, and some prize that they could win, like a silver dollar or an old silver dollar or $100, and you still come out pretty good on them. But I don't know anybody that's hadn't seen any around except that little old store in Georgia, and that kind of amazed me. Of course, I bought 4 punches.
You haven't been to the right honky tonk and asked for the punch board.
That's right.
Yeah, and to touch on the list of your program so far this morning, some of the gas stations I remember for Arnold that are around town. You remember? I remember one called the DX. It was just 2 initials, the DX.
Yep, the DX.
You remember the Orbit or the DX?
I remember. The Orbit's still around. It's a little different clientele now, but there was an Orbit. KO.
I used to always go to Bob's Golf.
Yep.
Who could remember? Never forget the image of old man. He was an old man when I was a kid. He was an old man for years there. You could come by and see him pumping gas out there, full service.
And he was the son of the owner.
Son of the owner.
Yeah.
Bob Jr., I guess.
Yep.
Let's see. The Direct station. You remember that across from Bradley?
Yes. Oh, man.
Gosh, yeah, KO and
the Pan Am, I don't remember, but I've seen pictures of it.
Yeah. The only Sinclair station that I remember was over on Emmons Street.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sinclair, didn't they have the dinosaur for kind of a logo?
Yes.
Sure do.
The Brontosaurus.
Of course, quickly here, a few things I jotted down. Debbie, you mentioned about Radio Shack as well. As for whatever happened to the old Tascos, the White's Auto, the Western Auto. Remember those? You were a kid to go in there and see the lawnmowers and all that stuff. That was a big time. And
the bicycles.
Favorite spot was Lay's 5 and Dime down on Inman Street. And
you had the Hobby Mart.
Of course,
right where we're sitting.
I lived in East Cleveland, so everything was in walking distance. Dooley's is within walking distance. The Grand Lunch.
Hobby Mart there, you get the balsa wood. Remember the famous?
Oh, yeah. Balsa wood airplanes, yes.
Oh, yeah. And,
I always bought the little bottles of chemicals there. I just mix anything together to see if it smoked, blew up, or turned blue. I figured it's either going to make
Is that what you burnt your beard off
blow
with
up
that time?
or bubble over.
Is that what you burnt your beard off with
No,
that time?
that was you guys burnt my beard off. I had to wait till I was almost grown to get my beard burned off.
You know, to touch on toys here, when I was a kid, I mean, is this one extinct as well? It was the big wheel. That was the going thing in my
Nah, they still have those around in various forms.
But South Park made that popular again.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
But they really want things with motors in them now and high-tech communication levels and all that.
Goodness, a big wheel. I rode that thing for hours on end. back in the day. And then touch one other thing here, the Charles Chip truck.
Yep.
Charlie Chip.
We used to buy those every week.
And the Watkins man.
Bunny bread.
Yeah.
I thought
Wonder Bread.
I thought it was so neat to have bread delivered to your house by Bunny Bread.
My favorite was Wonder Bread and Wonder Chips. That's the best potato chip. They beat Charlie's hands down. Lay's, get out of the way.
And John knows his chips.
Wonder Chips.
Wow, that takes us back in the day there.
Can you get bell bottoms, Doc?
Yeah, bell bottoms. Well, speaking of bell bottoms, I'm going to be sporting mine tonight. Give me a shameless quick plug in here for Doc Hollywood's Down Night Dance Show featuring best 70s, 80s R&B and disco, my favorite. Tonight, right there on that same station, Whoop FM, 6 to 8 p.m. or so. We'll try to YouTube this one and then see if I can get somebody to sign me for $1 million.
All right. Hey, you got to play a little Average White Band, Schoolgirl Crush.
I'll get that on for you there, Ron. And any request at the same number there I just dialed at 614-5553 tonight, 6 to 8, guys.
The one and only Doc Hollywood right here tonight. At what time?
6 p.m. to 8 p.m. there.
It may go to 8:30 if he's having fun.
That is exactly right there. Well, thanks so much for love your subject today, and let me chime in here for a minute, guys.
Bye-bye.
See, somebody here online mentioned Dowdy's Texaco that was on 25th Street, and I remember Norris's Interstate
Yes,
Shell.
Norris.
Across from the Chalet.
We'll see, Norris started over at Galt Street in Central Avenue.
And folks that shop down at the Otasco store at 5 Points,
Yes.
remember Miss Reinhardt Lackey, and I believe she just celebrated her 99th birthday.
And Stacy Cries, Phillips 66, the corner of Spring Place and Durkee, wherever street race was organized.
In Cleveland, yeah.
In Cleveland, and I was a little kid and over there going, what are they talking about? What are they talking about?
And somebody's saying, I'm sorry, Ron, and somebody's mentioning, too, the Fuller Brush Man.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, caller. You're live on Old Town Cleveland.
Good morning, Ron.
Hey.
I'm going to make an announcement for Bro Daddy. He's going to be at Nolans tonight, and it's from 9:30 to 1 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I just told him he's a good friend of mine.
Did you get hypnotized?
Well, I almost got in trouble there last week. The girls were turning around about ready to slap me. And I didn't get hypnotized. Me and Matador backed out of that.
Well, they kept sending me messages wanting me to come, and I said, no, I don't think so. To be hypnotized on the Fro Daddy's show is not a good idea.
Let me tell you a couple things I missed. I missed Cokes for 5 cents. And I missed when the gas was 28 cents a gallon.
Yeah. Amen. Amen.
And anyway, I just want to give a plug for Pro Daddy.
All right,
Thank you.
We'll see. I remember when Cokes were a nickel, and you had to put it in there, and they went to 6 cents, and I thought Coke had ruined their business. You know, I was probably 6 too, and I'm going, what's Coke thinking? They're going to ruin their business. You have to have a nickel and a penny now.
Do you guys remember getting silver dollars for perfect attendance at school?
Oh yes, yeah, I sure did.
Wait a minute,
before the
which school
convenience
was that?
store.
All we got was a little gold star.
We got
in Cleveland.
Oak Grove, we got a silver dollar.
We'd die for that little gold star.
Yeah.
Go to school sick.
Silver dollar.
Family stores in your neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, wasn't that great?
Little family stores.
You knew them. They knew you. You walked in. You
Great
got your
service.
little
and
bit
the
of
best thing about
little
them,
drink or your candy or something like that, and they wrote it down in a little pad. And Friday night, after everybody got paid, they went back there and paid up their week's groceries.
Let me tell you, back in the day, Tinsley's, MC Hedrick, and I'm thinking
Watson's.
Cooks would do it too. And they all had a what you call a panel van, and you could call.
Yeah,
because my mom would do it all the time because she worked and Dad worked, and just as a convenience, you would call your grocery order in.
Yeah,
and they would deliver it out to you in this little van. You'd sign for it, and then on Friday when you got paid, you'd swing down by the store and you pay your bill. But you had a charge account there, and you maintained that until the first time you just didn't pay them.
You can't even get checked out at the checkouts now.
No, I mean you call your order in, deliver your groceries, and it gets you in trouble too. Because I remember when Mom was in the hospital having, I think it was Sister Becky. Alan and I were in charge for a few days. 3 days she was in. That was a mistake. We got on the phone and we called in to Tinsley's every day, and she was in there. And we got crinkle cut French fries, ketchup, and potato chips. That's all we got because we loved them, but we apparently ate a lot of them. When he got his bill that week, it was like $7, which was a lot. What's a lot of French fries?
Yeah.
A lot of French fries.
Back then, especially when they were a quarter a bag.
Let's get this call here. Go ahead, caller. You're live on Old Town Cleveland.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I was going to tell you a couple of Dooley's ice cream stories.
Go right ahead. Who are we talking to?
Irene.
Go ahead, Irene.
We lived out in the country also, and my dad knew the Dooleys very well, and we'd always stop and get ice cream. But when we were little, on the way to town one day, my brother said, way before we got to town, he said, me melt strawberry ice cream. And then when I go sometimes now to Baskin Robbins, I'll tell the young people at the window, I'll say, I remember when ice cream was a nickel a dip, and they look at me like I came over on the Mayflower.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe, you know.
Yeah, especially with the prices we pay now.
Oh, I know, but we always knew we were going to get to stop at Dooley's and get us an ice cream. Mm-hmm. Anyway, have a good day.
Thank you. Bye-bye. I'll tell you something that's not replaceable is the old pinball machines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, those digital things aren't as much fun.
Down here at the village, down at the bowling alley, I spent a lot of quarters down there.
Oh, let me tell you, King Munchie Restaurant on Dalton Pike. Mm-hmm. I was 14, 15 years old, and I've become a master at their pinball machine. They paid out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they'd come out and clear the points off, and I think paid a nickel a point.
Mm-hmm.
Blue Circle had one too.
I come out of there with about $20 in my pocket.
Wow.
Oh,
Walking high. Well, folks, it's already time for our break, and we just need to remember all those folks in the community, including Mr. Cartwright, that passed this week, and we'll be back with you in just a few minutes. Don't go away.
You are listening to WOOP-LP, Cleveland, Tennessee. WOOP FM is a broadcasting service of the Traditional Music Resource Center, and we play America's original music.
Check into cash. The cash you need is closer than you think.
Get an auto title loan today for up to $2,500 at Check Into Cash.
You drive home with the cash in your pocket.
Visit Check Into Cash for an auto title loan today, or get a payday advance for up to $425. Call toll-free 877-262-CASH. Title loan amount determined by value of car and ability to repay. Borrowers often use payday advances over a period of months, which can be expensive. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
If you need a little green, Lending Frog is making deals. He'll lend you cash on any kind of wheels. Borrow just a little, or you can borrow big. Lending Frog is a new financial gig. It's hip to hop into cash. LendingFrog.com is making a splash. Dig it, dig it. Dig it, dig it.
The last 3 decades, Southern gospel in general has become, not surprisingly from what we've already seen, increasingly worldly, rocky, and ecumenical.
Hello, this is the Matador. You know, every once in a while, you and your spouse or maybe a girlfriend might get into a little dispute. The new policy is now if you call the police, they're going to take both of you. It's going to cost twice as much. But if you want someone to bond you out, someone that's going to be there quick and dependable, that's Speedy's Bonding, who's been in service for 25 years. If you say the Matador, you can get 25% off. And his number is 479-9905.
All of my friends that I loved yesterday have gone. They have gone home. Gone home. They have gone home. The songbirds are singing. The dells seem to say have gone. They have gone home. Gone. They have gone home. They've joined the heavenly fold. They're walking the streets of pure gold. They left one by one as a here was done. Gone home. They have gone home. Gone home. They have gone home. Life here is lonely since they've gone before. Gone. They have gone home. Gone. They have gone home. The old weeping willow that stands by the door sadly sighs. They have gone home. Gone home. They have gone home. They've joined the heavenly fold. They're walking the streets of pure gold. They left one by one as the work here was done. Gone home. They have gone home. Gone home. They have gone home. They've joined the heavenly fold. They're walking the streets of pure gold. They left one by one as their work here was done. Gone home. They have gone home. Gone home. They have gone home. Where'd the old town go? They moved it. Where'd the old town go? They moved it all north of here in a shopping mall. Where'd the old town go? Did my hometown get old or just me? Did all my friends get old or just me? Are they all gonna have to be told or just me?
Welcome back to Old Town Cleveland here on Whoop FM 99.9, or you can go to the internet at www.whoopfm.com. You can call us here at 614-5553. If you're out of town, you can call us at 423-614-5553. And if you heard that blooper there right in the middle coming back, on the recorded version, you will not hear that, because I can take that part out and patch it together. So, but if you're listening to it live,
Wow.
mistakes just do happen, and it did. So,
You know, I thought of something while we were on break. John was talking about calling in and ordering food. We would call into Watson's down on Wildwood Avenue, and when you went by and they would just get your order ready, and
Yes.
you just went by and picked it up. Well, when you paid cash, they'd give you a pack of bubble gum or a pack of chewing gum for every $10 in the order, which was always fascinating to us kids because that's something that we didn't typically get to buy. And they'd also give you that little cardboard TV guide that had 3, 9, and 12 on it, and you couldn't live unless you had that guide because it would be too much trouble
cardboard
And you know
to
what
get
else?
up and change the TV channel.
Yeah.
Something else you can't get
What's
from
that?
that S&H Green.
I was fixing to say that.
There you go.
When you're down
mom would save those books up.
And-
If the neighbors didn't want theirs, she had a network.
Mhm.
And man,
Well,
you
I
got,
remember-
I mean, you get some nice appliances.
When Ron and I first got married, his mom had saved for years and got us a crystal cut punch bowl.
Yeah,
That
Well, you
expensive
get
punch
some
bowl.
nice
Do you
stuff
remember
with that.
the oatmeal that you got glasses in, and some of them got towels and things in
You
there?
could
That
get
came
those
in the dish
glasses in
detergent,
detergent, oatmeal, and yeah, and it was fantastic. And then they,
That's all
you know,
kind
they-
of glasses we had were Bama jelly jars.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bama jelly. Oh,
Yeah.
and the reason they stopped
Drank out of
was,
those.
cost and litigation. We
Yeah.
have turned into a
Litigating.
society. You couldn't, back in the day, And I think something you can't get anymore is
You're
common
old.
sense.
You don't say that, it makes you sound so old.
You can't get common sense anymore because back in the day, if you opened your oatmeal and something had happened to the glass and it was broke, you threw the glass away and you didn't eat the oatmeal. And you went back and you got another box of oatmeal when you could.
But not
wasn't
today.
a big deal. You didn't sit down and you didn't call your attorney and say, you know, I've won the lottery here. I'm going to sue Watson's Grocery and the oatmeal company.
I thought
it didn't come to mind. You didn't think about it.
I thought of something else too. Do you remember when you bought potato chips and they were in 2 little bags inside, little wax paper bags?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That's good. I got a call here. Hey, good morning, you live on Old Town Cleveland.
Quality.
How you doing, Ron? Good morning.
Hey, what are you doing?
You know who this is, Ron?
It's Damon Floyd.
Bruce Willis.
Brett.
Yeah.
Hey, Brett, how you doing?
I was listening on the internet this morning.
Well, good. Everything. Well, what's happening in the basketball world?
2 games are getting ready to play right now.
Who are they?
The team out of Chattanooga, UTC Mocs.
The
They've
girls.
had a good year.
The girls, yes, had a great year.
Like what, 2 losses?
They're tipping off right about now.
Mm-hmm.
I wish them luck. They've got an
me
awesome
too.
program.
I'd love to see them bring home a big title.
You know, I thought they had been seeded higher because they beat UT.
They beat
Ladyville,
UT and Stanford.
Both early in the season.
How you doing, Arnold?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Brett?
How you doing, John?
I'm doing great, buddy.
Yeah, my sister was in town for a week.
Well, good.
Well, good. Well, if you get us a score here in a little while, give us a call back.
I will.
All right.
Brett.
Thank you, Brett.
Bye-bye.
Double cola didn't you? Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Double cola you couldn't get for a long time, but I read it in the Chattanooga Times on Wednesday that they're going to start having double cola in bottles again. Do you remember the double cola?
Oh
I remember the double cola.
Everybody remembers
loved
here
them.
that was a kid's way to make money is returning bottles.
Oh yes, you can't. Well, there is no bottles now. No paper bags at the grocery store anymore.
Well, no, you can get paper bags.
Can you get paper?
Yeah.
Occasionally, I think Cook's offers.
Cook still offers the paper bags, and we
and
get
the Walmart has a stash, but they have them well hidden.
right.
I tell you one thing, guys, that I think about. I've thought about the other day and thought it was kind of funny is that forever we had a black and white TV just because they were cheaper. And I was probably about 10 before we got a color TV. And, you know, The Wizard of Oz only came on one Sunday night a year.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a kid's holiday. I mean, you planned the whole activities of the whole day to get to watch The Wizard of Oz that night. And I can so vividly remember that very first time that I saw The Wizard of Oz on a color TV. And when they went to Munchkinland, it was in color. I felt so betrayed that no one had ever told me that before.
All right, guys, look up here on the screen. You remember the little white candy?
Oh,
It had
yeah.
the little brown stripes on it. It's sort of a hard white sugary stuff. And it's
Awesome.
Peanut butter
peanut
bar.
butter. Let me tell you the bad news is you can find those now, but when you take the wrapper off, the brown stripes are on the paper and not on the candy.
Oh, man.
Darn.
I bought those recently at Cracker Barrel. They have a
That's
tendency
dope.
to have the old school candies.
I think there ought to be a congressional investigation on that. That's false advertising
Yeah,
right there.
it is.
Well,
It
brown,
really is.
Right.
And
It
that's
ain't
much
right.
to the delight of every dentist in America. They want us to eat those things because they stick to your teeth.
It ain't right.
I miss them. Go ahead, call your live.
That's me again, Martin.
Hey, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Does anybody remember when Golden Gallon first come to Cleveland,
Yes.
right next to Beatty's Feed Store?
Right.
The building's still there.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, they give you a horse ticket thing.
A bingo.
Well, no,
A
it had
bingo
they
card.
had horse racing too.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
I remember the horse races too.
You watch TV on Saturday night.
Uh-huh.
You won. I can't remember what you won.
Oh, just $1 or $2
Or a gallon of milk.
or something.
I couldn't remember.
I don't know. My horse never won.
Daddy's didn't either. See you later.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
We just scream at the TV wanting our horse to win.
I've got a couple of things that are old.
What's that? John?
Tommy guns.
Tommy guns, yeah. Yeah,
That kind of goes with the same category of M80s. Things we shouldn't be able to get anymore.
You're at Becky's old.
Uh-oh.
Say it.
Aunt Becky. I'll say Aunt Becky's old.
A lot of my parents are old.
Yeah, there you go. That's what parents are, old people.
And plus, you can't trade guns for deer skins.
Okay. No, not usually.
We were doing that when I was a kid. Swapped a rifle for a deer skin.
You know,
made myself
something
a coat.
that we talked about, John, when we was on break, is that those old red hot dogs.
Oh, red
That's
dye?
the only kind of hot dogs we had when we were kids.
You'd have thought I'd won the lottery a few months ago. I found some.
You boil them
at
in
a
water.
Bi-Lo.
You boil them in water, and
The
what
water
happens?
The water turned
red.
What
pink.
pink? Yes.
There'd be this
You know you
pink,
had.
frothy stuff stuck
And
to
the
the pan.
longer they simmered, the better the red dye got
Now,
mixed
my
in
wife
there.
can't stand those, and she doesn't even like hot dogs boiled. They've got, but man, tell me.
Now, this is something the women will remember, curlers.
Mm-hmm.
My age group, we put our hair on top of our head in a ponytail, and we put those pink curlers that would come all the way up on your top part of your arm. They were so big, and that would straighten our hair like Cher. Or if you wanted it curly, you put it on those little red spoolie, those little pink spoolie things.
That's all right. We used Brill cream.
Dabble do ya.
I said
Just a little dabble do you?
Yeah, do you remember? You rake that comb through there, and
Yeah.
it comes out with a big
Glob of
gob
stuff.
of something on there, and we wash our hair now just so it won't be greasy. Back then, we put grease in it. If you
We
didn't have
was-
Brill cream, you got a handful of lard.
Yeah.
Took that comb
Deb
out.
online says dippity doo. Yeah, we all remember the dippity doo and that. What was that hairspray?
Dippity doo.
It's a wonder we don't all have lung disease from
Oh.
spraying Aquanet. That was
Something
it.
you can't get that John will be familiar with was Miller ponies.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The little, what was it, 6-ounce little beer?
Yeah, probably
Six,
6 ounces.
what was it, an 8-pack of Miller Ponies?
8-pack of 6-ounce beer. Exactly. And
One of my best friends drank a
Okay, did
8-pack
they
of those
come-
before school every morning.
Did they come in bottles or did they come in cans?
Oh, this little bottles.
Little
6-ounce
bottles.
Oh.
Well, I remember the cans that had the little tabs that pulled all the way off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you could just slice your toes real good on those.
Now, I don't think they did this when I was. I don't remember it as a child having milk delivery. I think that was pre
us.
But I do remember getting milk in a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a kid, you could get a quart
I think
bottle.
when
You
Ron
could
and
buy
I
a bottle
first-
of milk. Had a paper seal on the top and a little aluminum foil tab. You could.
When
peel
Ron
it
and I
off.
first got married, they were still selling milk in the square, those waxed cartons.
Yeah.
I remember getting those.
Now,
I don't remember the
I can't get size 32 underwear anymore.
No, you can't get into
You
them,
can't
John.
Oh, okay. That's
They still make size 32
Makes a
underwear.
difference.
John, there's some reason.
I thought they quit making them.
John, there are some reasons you don't get things anymore in size 32 underwear. There's a cause and effect there.
I just assume they quit making them.
Yeah, and somebody online mentioned too. I mean, even prior to the tabs coming on the cans, you remember having to have the can opener
Yeah.
with you to punch the holes.
You had
in
to
it.
make those chains with those
Oh,
pull-off
yeah, but that
tabs.
was
you
so
know.
cool.
Oh, now, you're listening to Old Town Cleveland. We got John Cook here and Arnold Tarpley. Got Lyric in here and Debbie Moore and myself, and we're talking about things you can't get anymore or things that you don't want to get anymore. Well, we may say, RD, be careful what you say when you. But some things that you can't get anymore besides Miller Ponies is coal. We probably all burned coal growing
Somebody
up. Can you
said
get, where do you buy coal at?
Evans is out on 64 Highway. You can still get coal.
You're kidding. Wow.
And
If anybody's in town has got it, it's probably him.
Yeah.
But now we got, remember in school they actually, when I went to Oak
brought
Grove,
a dump truck.
they brought a dump truck load
Yeah.
full of coal there
For
to
the
the
furnace,
school.
yeah.
Yeah, Mayfield had a coal burning
chute.
furnace when I first started
And we
going
had
there
them
too.
old steam radiators
Yep.
down there, and they go dun, 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 dun,
In
dun,
any
dun, dun, dun.
grocery store, every grocery store at that time, the bags of coal be outside
Yeah.
the door lined up.
Grab you a
You-
bag
if
of
you-
coal.
Quat next to them.
On Benton Pike, right
Bundles
across
of-
from where Flathead used to be.
I bet
And they'd
Lyric,
have
was a
bundles
coal
of
bundle,
Kindle.
a coal store.
I bet Lyric don't even know what coal is.
No, he's never seen it.
And
Hey.
bundles of Kindle to get that, coal started.
Or you go to the chair factory.
Yep.
The chair factory. Hey, go ahead, caller. You're live on Old Town Cleveland.
I'll tell you something you can get any more than that's bluegrass at Birchwood tonight.
Okay.
All right.
There you go.
Section 27 is bluegrass.
Oh,
they-
they
they've
came
been-
and did our show. We really enjoyed them.
All right, good. We're on
Now tell us what time it starts.
7 o'clock,
Yeah.
and they got barbecue and hot slaw and a good little canteen and good music.
Yeah.
Well, now Bluegrass Connection 27, like I say, they've been on our radio show here. They're a great group of
I
guys.
heard them one day. They are great.
They're
And,
nice guys.
Nice guys, and then they got barbecue.
Yes, sir. Good barbecue.
Good Bluegrass, good barbecue.
Can't be beat.
That's right, and it's right out in Birchwood, right across from the old Birchwood School.
From the old school, yes, sir.
Get there early, park early, eat early, stay late, eat late.
There you go.
At what time?
Don't stay too late, though. You got to go to worship in the morning.
What time does it get over?
About 9, usually about.
Oh, that's my kind of place. Gets over with 9.
Yeah.
So $5 entry fee.
Yes, sir. Uh-huh.
All right, sounds good.
Good family
Hey,
entertainment.
call us every Saturday. And let us
Call
know.
us anytime.
All right, bye. That's but things that are going away is you.
Oh, I know something,
Twinkies.
Ron.
Twinkies. We don't know what the Twinkies about to go out of business. Somebody buying back, so Twinkies could be gone.
Something else too, Ron. It's a wonder that not all of us aren't blind from facing those flash bulbs.
Oh yeah,
on those old cameras, and then you'd pop it out, and they'd stand and try to hold it in their hand
because it was hot. Hey,
it's like a little bomb or something.
Go ahead, caller. You're live on Old Town Cleveland.
Hey guys, this is Sherry Delk. How are y'all doing?
You're doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Where I was raised up, the cafeteria ladies made homemade yeast hamburger buns and hot dog buns.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
All those things. Oh my gosh.
That's what I was talking about earlier. Over at East Cleveland.
So good. And then I've been doing some cooking this morning for a memorial service thing, so I haven't been able to hear everything, so I hope I don't repeat what everybody else has been talking about.
That's okay. We're so old we don't remember.
Me too. But one thing is, too, about the Coke bottles, when you take them back and get the money off of them.
Deposit.
Now, when you bought a bottled Coke, they would charge you an extra nickel for the Coke.
Or 3 cents or something, yeah.
Yeah, if you bought your bottle, they'd take your bottle, and they wouldn't charge you that for it. But then when you had a bunch of Coke bottles, you take them and you'd kind of cash them in.
Mm-hmm.
So
Get your deposit back.
Yeah.
Did you ever bet a quarter on who would have the city farthest away bottle?
Yeah.
On the bottom of the bottles, it said it was made in Seattle or Cleveland. So we would bet a quarter, and you just pick it up and you go. Of course, you had to watch them dudes that go in there and go through all the bottles in the case to get one out. So you all had to buy them at the same time.
That's right. Well, I had just got married and we didn't have much money, and Francis took a little red wagon load full of Coke bottles down to the service station that we don't have anymore, and they would give you the money for the bottles, and then he gave me that money so I could buy some materials for Easter dress.
You know, that's something that you just mentioned that you can't get anymore. You can't go and just buy cloth to make clothes out of anymore. Almost all the cloth that's available is for crafts.
Yes.
And I used to make everything.
Right.
And you used to buy the pattern, little bags with the patterns in there. You select your pattern and take
You
it home.
can still buy those now, but they're like $14.95 just for the pattern. I think, well, I can just go buy a dress.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. But anyway, I used to watch my grandmother make our clothes on the treadle sewing machine.
Yeah, just pedal away.
Yeah, if there was no power, it didn't make any difference. You wasn't hooked up to the electricity anyway. But anyway, and Debbie, I'm so glad that to hear you feeling good today.
I'm just real grateful to be here. I'm doing really, really well.
Great.
Well, thank you.
Still praying for you.
Thank you. I
Thank
still
you.
need that.
Nice talking.
Thank
to
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I have something that's old again.
Okay.
The bulbs, where you clap and they turn on.
The clapper.
Oh, clapper, yeah. Clap
yeah,
on, clap
we never
off.
wanted the clapper. Oh, that's something else.
Something else that everybody our age remembers are the party lines.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a lot like Facebook today.
I don't know if you can get these.
Everybody's business.
I don't know if you can get these anymore today or not. I've not seen them, but when I was a kid and growing up, just as soon as it got within a week of Easter.
No.
Every place in town, boxes of them outside the supermarkets chirping, little colored Easter chicks.
Yeah.
Everybody would, that was the thing. If you didn't get a little colored Easter chick, which, they were gorgeous, they were tiny, they were cute. We brought them home, we stepped on them. Rarely did you raise one to.
I always suspected that my cute little Easter chick was my fried chicken I got for my birthday in September.
Yeah. I guess because of PETA or somebody.
What happened to your little chick that time there?
Oh, it was traumatic. I'm 61 years old almost, and I've never recovered from it.
Let's get him a towel here.
I was bound to determine that this was going to be the one that I would raise.
What color was it?
It was blue. It was gorgeous. And I
True
was going to
blue.
raise this one. I'd never been successful before. They'd either die or run off, but I took care of this one. And I got up one morning on my way to school and decided I was looking for something for it to eat. And we'd had rice that morning, so I got a box of Uncle Ben's instant rice out of the cabinet and poured a little cup full of it and set down a little cup of water next to it. My God. It was like a horror movie. I come in that afternoon and my little chicken's feet had disappeared. Its beak had disappeared. It was a ball. You could roll it. I mean, it blowed up so big off of that rice when it drunk the water that its feet got sucked in, its beak got sucked in. Wasn't nothing we could do. Just,
The moral of the story is
died.
Don't feed your Easter.
Well, not
chicken.
instant rice. I mean,
Instant
cook
rice.
it first, I guess. But instant rice.
Yeah, and someone's mentioning here online too. The problem with those Easter chickens too is they grow up and they crow.
Yeah.
And it's not a good thing.
Easter chicken, I'd probably take care of it.
I'm not sure if it was just PETA probably jumped in because they were dunking all these things.
Right.
Yeah, I think you can still get them at Tractor Supply.
Can you?
Yeah. Things that you may not be able to get much longer might be, you can't get payphones at all now. I don't think they're rarely.
Well,
it's a
they're
payphone.
rare.
They're rare.
Paper bags are going away. TV antennas. Have you tried to buy a regular TV antenna? When Walmart don't carry TV antennas, you know that it's not something people buy on a regular
You can buy
basis.
something real fancy and crazy on Amazon.
Some little thing you stick on the wall.
Man, you could get some fancy rabbit ears back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
You could
Hang
get
that
the rabbit
aluminum
ears
foil
that
on
would
it just right.
bring in UHF and had to have little round circles.
Well, so there were lots of kids
Rabbit
in your
ears with
family
dials.
to stand and hold the ears. So
Yeah,
they
and you
work
could
right.
get just a pair. Yeah, but you ever have one with the dial on it? You could actually click the dial for different.
Only rich people have
Chalk.
those.
You remember when we used chalk is getting harder to find because in schools they used it all the time. Now they got all these fancy
Dry erase.
dry erase.
Yeah,
and
we're
they
going
got-
beyond that now.
Yeah.
It's all on the what they call it, the digital
smart
boards,
screens?
Smart screens.
Yeah. Hey, go ahead, call. You're live on Old Town Cleveland.
Oh, good morning. Good morning, Rod.
Hey,
Good
how
morning,
you
dear.
doing?
I'm doing fine. This is Edna.
Yeah.
I'm calling to tell you about the flour. We used to buy flour in these floral sacks.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, we made dresses and skirts and everything out of it.
And I remember, I don't remember that. I remember having dresses made out of it, but I don't really remember it. But I remember people telling me that they went to shop to find the bags that matched so that they would have enough material to make a whole dress.
Yes, yeah.
Flour sack dresses and flour sack underwear.
Yeah, we sure did.
That flour sack underwear sounds a little rough.
I don't know. It depends on if it had any flour left in it.
That flour sack underwear.
I don't think I'd eat it.
I remember too making paste at home. I needed glue and didn't have any. We'd mix flour and water together to make paste.
Well, now, Edna, I got one important question for you.
Yeah.
Did your neighbor ever share any of that Jack Daniels with you?
My neighbor? I don't have any Jack Daniels.
No, but you said your neighbors had that kind of stuff. I just wondered if they'd saved it.
I don't know. But did I say my neighbors had some black?
I think he's
Now
got
you don't know. Now you don't know.
He's got you confused with somebody
I must
else.
have you confused with somebody else.
We're all at that age.
I don't have any Jack Daniels. I have some wine.
Well, hey, can you still buy Boone's Farm wine?
That's what?
Boone's Farm. You remember Boone's Farm wine?
She probably don't.
Man, that stuff was hideous.
Yeah, it's aged 33 minutes in the bottle before they ship it.
Thanks,
hey, thank you, Edna.
Bye-bye.
No, I don't remember that.
All right, thank you, Edna.
I ordered my wine out of somewhere. I don't have any wine. I was kidding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, Boone's Farm, they had a strawberry and thing, but I think it was just formaldehyde and water, wasn't it?
It was something close.
But it was $1 a fifth.
Oh, my gosh. No wonder it was
And it
so
takes
bad.
like 5 fifths.
Yeah.
Rick and Ray and myself got a bottle of it once to celebrate some songs that we had recorded. And we popped that bottle open, and
You know, something else that you can't.
it was hideous.
That's
Sounds like prank jelly.
Going away every day are watches. You know, we all used to wear a watch. Now,
Yeah.
yeah. And now all they have are the
home
Apple
telephone.
watches.
Radios.
Home telephone.
Walkmans.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many people still actually have home telephone? Do you still have a home
No.
phone?
We've got a line, and we've got a number. I don't remember it anymore.
We actually turned ours off
Back
6,
in the
7 months
summer.
ago.
If you were to plug a phone into our phone line, somebody could call me if they knew my number, but I don't even know it. I might have it wrote down somewhere.
I guarantee you a telemarketer can find your number.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah, I turned off my line about a year and a half ago.
Yeah, so
see, this is technology just in you can name off a ton of technology because those things change so rapidly. You know, bag phones. I was thrilled to death. You know, you mount the antenna on your car. You had to run a cable from the antenna under the seat all the way to the front, and then you had your bag phone. I saw what made me think of that is I saw an older car downtown the other day, and they still had their bag phone antenna on the back window.
You know, I said the other day I'd like to have a record player to play some old albums on. You just can't go buy one.
Mm-mm.
It's not simple anymore. Go ahead,
if
caller.
if your needle goes bad, it's an expensive thing now. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, this is RD. I know I promised, but I'm.
RD, you
Now,
call all you
RD,
want to.
I'm going to
He
tell
lied.
you the truth. I was telling Ron the other day we needed to invite you to do this show, and we just didn't get around to it. So you just read my mind, is all. Go ahead.
Here's one I'm glad we can't get anymore.
Okay, go ahead.
When my grandfather died, I was kind of raised by him more or less, but when he died, we went through his garage, and I found an entire can of DDT.
Oh, God.
And I don't know when this was made, but somewhere I've got to dig them. I've got pictures I took. I got on the computer. Of course, you know how that goes. But I took pictures of this can.
How did you get rid of it?
Took it down to the what is that?
Creek and poured it in.
Now they got it going on today. The hazardous waste.
Yeah.
They didn't. They were like, oh, you might as well have brought in doggone, atomic bomb.
Yeah, really.
But this was years ago. Man, I took pictures of this thing, and the instructions on the back were just amazing. Of course, we didn't know. No one knew. But the instructions were like, if you got cockroaches in your house, you just go ahead and spray it in your kitchen cabinets. If you had bed bugs, to soak your mattress in it and take it outside and let it dry. And I'm not making this up. If you had head lice, to cut it with water, put it on your hair. I mean, it was just phenomenal. I'm like, no.
But it killed the lice.
Oh, yeah.
It killed the lice. It killed
the hair and the person, yeah.
Brain cells.
It was incredible. I pulled that thing out, and I said, oh, my God, it's a whole can of DDT. And
dang.
If you got pesky bald eagles, just squirt them as they fly by.
They'll be really bald.
Worked on mother-in-laws.
Down there, and I pulled that out, and they were like, we don't know if we take that or not. And I said, well, what am I supposed to do with it? I mean, I'm not, I ain't going to sure throw it away or dump it out. My God, so. But yeah, that's one thing I'm glad that you can't get anymore.
Down in our garage when we first moved in our house, there was some of those old green bottles of bug spray that had the little white pump on the top of it that you had to, pump to squirt it. I don't remember. Decon something.
Yeah.
Bug be gone or something. And I don't know what I did with it, but I just remember thinking, ooh.
Well, I've still got, and maybe I don't know if I should say this or not, but
Nobody's listening. Go ahead.
I've still got probably about a quart of in a plastic jug down here of Chlordane.
Yeah.
Which is pretty. I think that was banned in the late 70s. But my dad, when they built their house in 1975, he sprayed up underneath that house. We just soaked it with Chlordane. Until they moved out. I've got them moved out and moved in next door to me last year. And to the day they moved out, you could go up underneath that house, and there wasn't a spider, bug, one living up underneath that house.
Or human.
We had Dad sprayed the Chlordane under our house too, and it's the same way.
Oh yeah, I mean that was some vile stuff, man. So, but there's certain things I'm glad we can't get, and that's probably in M80s too. Because I remember as a child, you go down by a bag of dang M80s, man, and I mean we blew up many a GI Joe.
Speaking of
You
vile,
know what those would be worth now.
speaking of vile stuff, I wonder if you can get a castor oil anymore.
I don't know.
Man, it didn't matter. You were afraid at home. The reason we didn't
got well real quick.
Yeah, you
we
did.
didn't go
No,
to
nothing
doctors.
hurts.
Yeah, we didn't go to doctors very often when I was a kid because you was afraid to open your mouth. It didn't matter if you said your tummy was hurting, you had a headache, you stumped your toe.
Castor oil.
Here come that bottle of doggone brown castor oil out of the cabinet. It's a big bottle too.
Well, I know you got a young in there, but this is why kids are soft today.
They don't get spankings at school or at home.
Spankings, and you don't get castor oil, because when we was young, you learn real quick. You go complaining about an ache or a pain or a stomach ache, you got to hold your nose. Grandma held your nose and poured a teaspoon of castor oil.
And
Heck, sometimes we got punished with it instead of a whipping.
Well, you learn to suck it up. Is this bellyache work? No, I think I'll just go ahead.
Well, how bad's your belly hurting? Well, not that bad.
It'll be hurting a whole lot worse here in a little bit.
Sometimes they just lined up the kids once a week and just give you a dose.
Yeah.
And the old
worm syrup.
Preventive.
Can you get
Worm
it
syrup?
anymore?
Oh, castor oil you can.
You think so?
I don't know, John. If I buy some, will you take it?
No, but I'd like to have some for home. I got 2 grandkids.
Lyric needs
Never.
Here's something else youngins better be glad they don't get anymore, is switching.
Hickory switches.
Oh, my grandmother was the switch. Just talk about it. She'd make you go pick your own cherry branch, you know, and then she had a little pen knife she'd do her toenails with.
Yeah, my dad told me about that.
She just
Doesn't sound fun.
them branches out while you're watching. You'd be crying, all you crying, words coming, and she'd leave 3 little leaves on the end of that switch. You had to go pick the switch, and God help you if you brought back a little switch.
Oh, yeah, you can't bring back a little switch, no.
And you just take her time, just grab you up by the left hand, and I mean, you just run in a circle around that woman. My back of my thighs are burning right now. Think of it.
I've got my eyes closed. Imagine me, my mom got my hand, my running around the circle trying to outrun that switch.
And me and my cousin, we used to flip coins to see who got it first. You know, he's like, is it better to go first or second? Because if you go first, it's going to be worse because she's fresh. If you go second, and you got to suffer the torture of watching your cousin run around in a circle squalling. But you think, well, maybe her arm will be tired by the time she gets to you.
Nah, she gets a second wind.
RD, you know what's worse, RD, than that?
Well,
it's getting the sermon and then getting the spanking.
Well, hopefully there ain't a hickory switch apocalypse happening.
Hickory switch apocalypse. We had a couple of those.
I don't remember a lot of sermons. I remember a lot of switching, though, I'll tell you. But you know what? Now, you knew when the belt came out, you had really crossed the line, but the switch was more...
I'd rather have the sermon anytime.
Now, something that all of you will remember is your mom hanging the clothes out on the line.
Yep.
Yep,
That's what I was going to say.
I got in trouble for shooting Grandma's clothespins off the clothes. that was a switching.
Let me tell you, if and think about it, if you were now to tell your child to go outside
and play
and cut a switch off the tree and bring it in, because you were going to whip them with it, and you leave 2 leaves at the end.
That's why you just leave one in the house in case you need it, John.
They pick up the phone and they call 911. You're in jail.
My
First of all, you gave them a knife, which we never thought about back then. My grandmother gave us a gun and have us to shoot the switch off the tree.
My mama one time, now this is a different day and age, you understand. She come, no, it's hard to say. She took a swing at me one time because I don't know what I done. She missed me and she hit my little sister square in the face. Knocked her right down. Well, I knew I was in for it then. I took off out the front door. Now, we lived in a subdivision outside of Detroit with a bunch of Polish and Czech immigrants. And I took off out the front door, and when my mama come out the front door after me, she grabbed a wiffle ball bat. And she chased me completely around a city block. She never could get a hold of me, but she could just get close enough to me to keep beating me on the head and the shoulders with that wiffle ball bat, going, "You better stop, Russell, you better stop, you come back here, boy." And all them big old Polish and Stickland was on the front porch going, "Get him, Peggy, get him."
Trouble. Never good.
All the way around that block and right back in the front door with her just wearing me out. Now, you'd have the SWAT team at
Yeah.
My mom used a broom handle.
Oh, God.
Now the girls got it a little bit lighter, but I'm the oldest of 8. And,
she had to carry a big stick with 8 kids.
Myself and my brother Alan were kind of big guys, and we were the only 2 that I know of that got the broomstick. We actually got the broomstick. She would, and if you were running, she could catch you right behind the knees and take you down.
Like I
I was yelling for my brother Ray one time because I was trying to help him out. I said, "Run!" And he didn't get but 4 steps, and she caught him right behind the knees and buckled him under. And buddy,
it's a good thing that he had those things ironed inside his knees of his jeans.
And when you went to school, and I'm not saying it was good, I'm not saying it was bad, but when you went to school, and you were a guy my size or my brother Ray's, and you had those black and blue bruises around the arm or behind the knees, and you're wearing shorts, teacher just look at you and grin and say, "Getting into a little bit of trouble this weekend, wasn't you?"
And my mama was a small woman, still is, but she was a whacker. I mean, she got anything she had in her hand, she'd whack you with it. And you ever been
like a wooden spoon
or a telephone receiver
or a brick?
Oh, telephone receiver, yeah.
You ought to be hit with a chair slat.
Bake like the telephone receivers in the side of the head. I was always glad my mama never chopped wood. And if it wasn't that, she'd pull the shoe off.
It depends on what Mom was doing. I do remember getting hit with a clothes hanger once.
Oh, I'm telling you.
I bet that barely hurt.
Stung.
I had never been in prison. I've never been in jail. I pretty much kind of towed the line. I had my wild side, but, you got to, discipline was something that was taught from the time you were 3, 4, 5, 6 years old. And you realize there's a line you cross, and there's consequences that you pay. And now it seems everybody wants to start disciplining their children when they're 15, 16 years old. And it's too late then because they'll fight back.
Well, RD, I probably didn't go to prison because I'm afraid my mom would whip me if I went.
At least. So, listen, y'all take care.
Hey, thank you, RD.
I didn't mess with my grandmother when I was a kid. My mom and dad would take us over to grandma's every now and then and leave us for the weekend so they could.
We talked about coal. Everybody needs to go find some coal and burn some show them that rocks will burn. That is sort of. Hey, go ahead, caller. You're live on Old Town Cleveland.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say I'm enjoying your
reminiscing.
Yeah, but when I was growing up, and I always hated when I done something wrong, my daddy would say, "This is going to hurt me more than this."
Baloney.
He lied.
You knew that.
That was more than baloney right there.
Yeah, but like that RD said, I've never even been in jail, so they must have done a pretty good job of raising me. You know, tried to do right. I used to lie to try to get them out of a whooping. Did you ever do that?
Yeah, it worked once until later the next day they found out about it or something.
Yeah. Hey, y'all have a good
All right, bye.
night. Bye-bye.
My house, crying would get you whipped quicker than anything. There was no point in trying to pull that.
Mm-hmm. You know, I said earlier about the. I remember my mom ironing patches. Even as a girl, I had patches on the inside of my corduroy pants.
Oh.
You just patched them up and you went on.
You remember
to
when
school.
they came out with the iron-on patches?
Oh, yeah. And nobody's knees bent.
The worst possible thing ever invented. And I know the moms loved it, but if you had a hole in your jeans or pants in the wrong place, and they used that iron-on patch,
taffy.
Yeah, there was enough sticky. It would stick to your buns. It would stick to your legs. Whatever was touching that patch.
Yes. There's some chafing going on.
Oh, it was horrible.
Hey, go ahead. Call you live on Old Town Cleveland.
Good morning, Ronnie. I'm really enjoying this high of life.
You see why I thought I had to come today to control this mess.
Oh, I'll tell you what, this last week has been the best, I believe, in a long time. I never did get a whipping from my mother or my daddy, either one.
But you thought you would.
You're lucky.
No, I never did.
Oh, okay.
When my mother told me to do something, I got up and did it. I didn't say, wait a minute. I got up and went on and did what she told me to do. And
Well, you were smarter than me because whatever my daddy told me to do, I did it. I might get beaten first and then I'd go do it, but I did it anyway.
We came up in the modern age, though, things like TV and we were seeing other things. So we got it. We were in the age of, I want to question this just a little bit. I don't think this is something I should be whipped for.
And how many times
Or
you
I
think
wanna
you could
test
whip
it a little bit.
How many times you think you could whip your daddy?
Oh.
Never.
Well, we thought it once.
And we thought it once.
We thought it once, and we decided to tag team him. This is Ray and me again.
Well, I'm
Because we're only a year apart.
Do what?
Go ahead, hon. We're listening to you now. Go ahead.
I'm glad you're feeling a lot better.
I'm feeling really good. I'm really blessed.
Glad it's all over with.
Yep.
With you.
Well.
But I never did get a spanking at school.
Well,
Oh,
you must have
God.
been a really good girl.
I was. I mean, and Dad tell me to go get some wood or go get water. I got up and went and got what they told me to get.
Hey, guys, this is one of them good girls we heard about.
Really?
That's right. I never did drink and all, but I had two brothers that, they could do it.
I'm feeling real bad about myself right now.
I'll tell you what, I never laughed so much in all my life, but it was, I'm glad you played that song because this man that I worked with, James Cartwright, he passed away night before last.
Yes.
And I've known him for years. In fact, he feels like he's part of our family.
We try to play that song "Gone Home" every week for.
But when this radio station first came on, Jerry, I started listening to it. So one day he played the song, the Florida Boys, when they ring those golden bells.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd go into work and Cartwright would say, Frida, don't you think it's about time for us to hear our song? And I wished he could hear it today, But it's too late.
Yep.
Well,
right.
he's getting to hear him in person now,
that's
right?
Yeah, well.
Thank you, darling.
My son did go see him before he passed away, and we kept in touch with him. So listen, I've enjoyed this program this morning. It's just been wonderful.
Okay. Well, we'll talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Go ahead and tell about you and Ray.
Oh, worst mistake we ever made. I forget what the argument was about. Anyway, we decided that we wasn't going to get whipped this day because I think Ray was 16, I was 17. It was time to let Dad know that we were too big for whippings anymore, so we tackled him out on the front porch. I went first, and then to Ray's credit, he jumped in there. He did. I thought he would run or something, but he jumped in, and next thing we know, we were out in the front yard just getting the crap kicked out of us.
I'd say he didn't fight fair.
The only thing that saved our lives was Mom. She came to the door and she said, "CL, let them youngins go." And I thought, listen to her. For once, God, listen to her.
Hold on a second here. Go ahead there, caller. You're live on Old Town Cleveland.
Good morning. It's Lisa Pojan.
Hey,
Lisa.
And I'm calling from my home telephone.
Oh,
Wow, did you dial it?
Yes, I will push the buttons, but I absolutely positively refuse to let it go because our phone number is ... Jeff Gordon, Daryl Waltrip.
Oh.
Greenwood, Daryl. You remember the phone numbers were Greenwood? My mom's was Greenwood 66328.
That was a little bit before my time, but I do remember.
A dumb question. What did that mean?
I never knew what Greenwood meant.
47.
Yeah, I know it meant 47, but it's not.
But it's the G and the R in the when you look at that.
The G and the R. Okay.
Yeah. When you look at the phone number, it has the numbers, then you have the letters beside them. The G and R fit 47.
I always looked at the G and the W, and it never made sense.
Yeah.
Greenwood.
Yeah.
Oh,
go ahead, Lisa.
Go ahead, Lisa.
I'm going to have to draw him a picture.
The reason I was calling was to tell Debbie that record players are coming back.
Absolutely.
Because LPs are coming back because they said there's something that they can reproduce the sound on those that they can't get on compact discs.
That's true.
A lot of the groups now are releasing their new albums on vinyl also because people like that warm sound is what it is, that little...
John, I'm thinking about putting some out on scrolls.
I don't think those are coming back anytime soon.
Oh,
if you wait long enough, everything comes back.
Well, and you can find anything you want on the internet, I'm sure. And I actually looked on there for a record player, and then I was so confused by the time I got finished, I didn't know what I wanted.
God, I hope not everything.
There's too many options.
Some things need to be left buried.
So, I think the one thing that is gone that probably had the biggest impact on my family's life was Bosco chocolate syrup.
Bosco. Yeah. At least you still get Ovaltine, though, can't you?
Yes.
Yes. But my dad had to have Bosco syrup, and we had to try, when they did away with it, we had to try every syrup out there, and he never found anything, so he just gave up drinking chocolate milk.
Lyric and I both love Ovaltine.
We're glad to hear that your dad gave up drinking. Wait a minute, I didn't.
You heard it here first.
Chocolate. I mean, I've got that in there.
So, but the other thing, aren't you kind of glad that with the inflation we've had over the last 50 years, aren't you glad that the prices of certain things like TVs and computers and things have come down instead of going up? Because imagine what we would have to pay for those things today if they had just if they'd had the right.
Because I mean, a color TV back in the '60s would get $500 or $600. That was a lot of money then.
The one we had was $800.
Wow.
We just threw away my mom's microwave that she got when they first came in. Yeah, going on 40 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was $800 or $900 40 years ago.
And it weighed 800 or 900 pounds.
And I don't know, probably the last time we used it, there was radiation. There's no plants around my mom's house.
Exactly.
But we actually just throw that. But it was $800 or $900. First VCRs were $800 and $900. What, they're $39 now?
Or the video cameras were.
Oh, you can't buy a VCR anymore, can you?
$1,400.
No, Blu-ray player.
Blu-rays, yeah.
You can get if you can get a DVD player that has a cassette player with it, just for the fact that there are some people with some things out there that haven't been.
They want to transfer on it. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I had one of those. Luckily, I got everything transferred before it blew up.
Well, Deb and I have been. We look at a lot of 8mm and 16mm tapes to work on our documentaries and
films.
And it's hard to find bulbs and projectors to play a 16mm.
Well, I can find them, but they're really expensive.
And slides. We used to go over to my aunt and uncle's and watch slides all the time. And
vacations.
We have a microfiche machine at the office where we can look at the old cards on microfiche, and we're just praying that the bulb never blows because we'll never replace that bulb.
Yeah.
So
I finally found a place on the internet that we got bulbs, but now we've had at some point in time in the last few months on our our dining room table, 16 millimeter projector and an 8 millimeter projector. So we look real old school when you walk in, and our tables are decorated with projectors.
And unfortunately, we have cans and cans and cans and cans and cans and cans of all level of old films right now that we're probably going to go in the restoring old film business here pretty soon.
Ron's going in it. I've actually done it. He's just watched.
We may end up making someone rich to do that.
You may. But, hey, now, if 40 years ago you had both of those projectors in your house, you would have been rich because that was the only people that could afford those.
It's the projectors will still be working, and there's one of those little belts that goes around to the pulley. When it breaks,
you're in trouble.
You're in trouble then. Replacing those belts.
Somebody that can fabricate those.
Yeah.
So
you just twist the rubber band till you get it to the right tension.
But I'm going to walk to the other end of my house where my home phone will not work, so I will talk to you guys.
Thank you. Good talking to you. I saw something on Facebook yesterday that you hadn't been able to buy in years. Up in Etowah, they've got I believe it's Dixie Sales, and they sell copper steels. You can buy the parts for the steel.
Mm-hmm.
They don't encourage you to make anything in them, but I mean, we're talking $500 and $600 for the big copper parts of the steel, and then they have.
I think that's illegal, though, isn't it?
Well, they don't.
You can't own the steel at your house, whether you're operating it or not. Is that true,
It can't
John?
all be connected together.
Former chief deputy.
But they showed where they were making actually.
I think you're right.
I think when you
somebody just got busted, I think, in Walker County, Georgia, with a steel at home.
Once you hook it together, you're making.
But aren't you allowed to make
a little
bit
bit
yourself for personal?
Well, and then they showed
beer.
They showed too that they had been making pans and things for sorghum people because they couldn't buy their things.
So the guy that I'm getting my hooch from is doing it illegally.
Oh yeah.
Even though sometimes it comes with a peach in it, because we'll get peach flavored or apple flavored.
John,
well, I just better not bring his name up then.
Yeah.
But if you're listening, we're out.
John, when we were cleaning out Ron's mom's house, we found 2 decanters from 1976 that still have the Jim Beam in them with the seal still on the bottles.
And I understand they sell for $300 or $400 a piece.
We're ready to sell them. No, $100 a piece empty.
Wow.
Go ahead, caller. You live on Old Town Cleveland.
I tell John it's good to hear him on there, and I've always loved his voice since we were kids, and that ain't no lie. And I want him to see if he can guess who this is.
This guy be Sid.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right, man. How are you?
I just got off from work, believe it or not, a little early there, and tuned in and heard you on there. I forgot you was going to be on there. They won't let me put the radio on whoop right word. But
you should try not to play the Fro show. They might let you play our show.
No, yeah, they might, but
I remember Sid's first band. I was trying to think of the name of it. Something special. Midnight Special.
Terry James and.
That was Midnight Express.
Midnight Express, yeah. Terry James, Jody Bagwell.
We should have got together more, but John, that wasn't my fault. That was my sister. God rest her soul. My sister, they run everything,
I know you guys had some of the best equipment. I had a little group of my own, but I'd come over a couple times and.
Yeah, but
Terry James lived right next door to me, so we'd play guitar all the time.
Yeah, and I'd pick some with you, and I just always liked your voice, and that one song you done, it was Johnny Cash, and I thought it was so pretty, and it was I Still Miss Someone.
Yeah.
Remember that?
My mom made me sing that all the time.
My mom made me sing it.
My mom made me sing that all the time.
Now.
Oh, man.
Dad's favorite was Wildwood Flower.
I know he could sing, but do you know what his real name is? Do you know what John's real legal name is?
Not
Johnny Wayne Cook.
Johnny Wayne Cook.
Now let's never bring it up again.
And let's call him the Duke.
I got me a Tascam, Johnny. I've been trying to work on it a little bit. But I ain't gonna never be able to match your voice. I'll just tell you that. I'm not gonna be doing much singing myself on it anyway. But I just wanted to tell you hello there, and
I appreciate it.
golly, I wish we could have got more together there when we was picking. And when y'all was the Tennessee Tea, I think I got the privilege of hearing y'all one time. I remember how good you used to be.
That's the problem. Most people only heard us one time.
No, y'all was good out here.
That was one good time, though.
Well, if you go, Sid, if you go to the internet and go to YouTube and type in "It's a Dirt Track Live," and you'll see a music video that we did for John on the title song from our documentary, and it's got over 52,000 views on it.
What now? What's the name of it?
Make it 53,000.
It's a Dirt Track Live.
A Dirt Track Live. Okay.
And type that in YouTube, and you'll see it's a video, and John wrote the music, sings it, plays all the parts on it, and then if you like that one, go and do the Finish Line 1. At the Finish Line, the number 1. Finish Line 1, and you'll see his other video has just been released.
I'm on this vehicle phone. This one of them, you don't take your hands off the wheel.
Yeah, that's a good idea there, Sid.
Believe it or not, I just pulled in Walmart and parked so I can write that down. What did you say the second one? I'll remember the other one. It's a Dirt Track Live.
The Finish Line, and then the number 1. The Finish Line.
Okay.
Number 1, then just the number 1.
Sometimes it comes up faster if you put the Finish Line Old Town, and it comes up faster. But be sure to listen to that. Well, Sid, we're going to have to get off here. It's already 12 o'clock.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Boy, it's good hearing from you.
Good,
All right.
Good to hear from you, Sid.
Thank you, Sid.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, we're glad that we got to make people think about things they hadn't thunk of in
Well,
years.
Arnold, got any last? Did you ever tell your daddy?
No.
Wait a minute.
Now, wait a minute, Ron. Your dad was 5'7". Did you ever challenge?
Yes, I did. My dad maybe 5'6" or 5'7" at his tallest. The most he ever weighed was 150 pounds, usually about 130 pounds.
Could you take him?
No, gosh, no. He come out of Korea. He went to work for Volunteer Electric, and he dug power poles by hand. So he looked like Popeye, this little bit skinny guy with the huge arms. And you know Jay Lake. Jay Lake had to. He think he could take on any building and whip it, and he's pretty good at it. You know, I'd only tried that one time.
I never tried. Heck, when Dad was in his 50s, and he could still outrun me in a foot race.
My dad could outrun me too.
My daddy's 72. I was never still outrun me.
John still wouldn't challenge his dad.
Yeah, I still wouldn't challenge Dad to a foot race.
Hey, folks,
he'd just pull his knife like an old guy.
Folks, it's been Old Town Cleveland.
Pull my back.
Every week we try to tell you. You know, we've talked about a lot of funny things and things like this, but, you know, write down your history, your family's history. Go talk to your dad or your grandfather today. Talk to them, record them. We never know how long they're going to be with us, and when they die, there's a bunch of history goes with them. So, and if you got old pictures, get your grandfather, grandmothers to look those pictures, get you a little white label, write who's on the back, who's in those pictures, because you never know who's going to find those pictures interesting, an old store that you shared and that. Debbie, have something there?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention to folks that we're making a documentary about the Ducktown Basin, and we really need home movies from the 60s or the 50s, even the 70s. Home movies that might show a little glimpse of the Red Hills in the background, and we've had one person, Marilyn and T, have given us some that show some of the terrain from the highway, but we're looking for people, church groups, picnics, parades.
Arnold.
They had all of that stuff up there. So anybody that has home movies, or if you have good home pictures that might show the houses with no grass, we really need those.
But this is not about mining. It's about the people who lived in the mining town and how Copper Hill, although didn't have any grass, was no different than any other city in the country, with some exceptions here and there. But
But we need those right away. And if you have them and they're on the little 8mm movie reels, hey, I got a projector. I can watch them and see if there's anything that we need to copy.
And we can also, if you have VCRs, if it's a little earlier, but we want to see. We'd like to see a birthday party going on in their red heels behind
or
it.
a wedding.
Or if it's in black and white, that's all right too.
You know how people used to take pictures in the cemetery? Well, they may still do that. But, that's the only time the family members were together.
Baseball leagues, birthday parties, church socials, daddy coming home, anything of that nature, sweeping the front yard instead of mowing the front yard.
But let us know if you have anything. You can call us here at the station after we go off the air. Thank you so much.
First, Lyric, are you?
Who's your teacher, Lyric?
Who's your teacher, real quick?
Talk to the mic.
Miss Melton.
Miss Melton. At what school?
Elementary.
Stewart Elementary. Okay.
Yes, Stewart.
Well, what do you think about your first radio appearance, Lyric?
What?
What do you think about your first radio appearance?
Good.
Good. All right.
Good time. Well, good.
Well, he may just have a new career here. I think he's as good as Fro Daddy right now.
What?
Well, thank you, folks.
You did good.
Yeah, John, do you have anything else?
Bye.
Bye,
Arnold.
See you later.
Hey, folks. They'll always remember Pearl Harbor, but will you?
Will we remember Aunt Pearl? See you
So
guys
write
next
it all
week.
down. We'll see you next week here on Old Town Cleveland.
Where'd the old town go? They moved it all north of here in the shopping mall. Ooh, where'd the old town go? Did my hometown get old, or just me? Did all my friends get old, or just me? Are they all gonna have to be told, or just me?
You are listening to WOOP-LP, Cleveland, Tennessee. WOOP FM is a broadcasting service of the Traditional Music Resource Center, and we play America's original music.
Check into